Have you ever noticed coincidences coming up in your life? Have you ever wondered what they mean? Is there something behind these coincidences? Is God behind them? Is it just random chance? Well, we're going to talk about how you can figure out who's really behind these coincidences and what it means to you so you can know how important you really are. Okay, we're looking at coincidences today. Are coincidences signs from God? Are there really coincidences with God? We're going to look at that and chat about a few things. So let me just share a few stories with you that'll kind of give you an understanding of what a coincidence means when you see it coming up over and over and over again in your life in a short period of time. Okay, so I'm a commercial filmmaker. Years ago, they were going to send me to Cambodia and Mongolia to do some humanitarian filming. And we'd had trouble getting this project started. But then there was a point where they said, okay, here's where we want to send you, Scott, Cambodia and Mongolia. And then I had all of these things line up just like boom, 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 where there were these strange coincidences. For example, the camera guy that I really wanted to use, you could rarely even find him in the country. I happened to find him there at the office, and I was able to talk with him, and in doing that, I told him what our project was and what we're doing, and it just so happened that he was going during the same month to Mongolia to pick up his daughter who was there on a service work mission. And anyway, there were just all of these things that just lined up. Boom, 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 boom. There's probably 5 or 6 of them that just amazed me. And when I saw all of that, I thought, you know what? There are no coincidences with God. God's hand is involved in this, and so it's going to work out. And so as soon as I shifted gears from this project's having a hard time getting started to God wants this project to happen, and so I'm going to help make it happen, suddenly things really started to take off. Now, I will tell you one funny thing that happened as we are at the airport, checked in our luggage, we've made it through security. I hear the name of one of our crew members announced over the PA system. And I said, what's that? And then somebody whispered to me that guy, and he went off running after he answered the phone. He went off running, and it turned out that he was the money keeper, and it turned out that he had switched wallets at home because he was going to wear kind of a safety wallet on the trip, and he had left all the money at home, and his wife had found it and was running it up to the gate. And I'm looking at my watch thinking, is he even going to make it through security? What's going to happen? And then I remembered all of those crazy coincidences that happened, and I thought, you know what? If those happened to make it, if all those coincidences happened to show me that God really wants the project to happen, surely he's going to help this guy get through security with the money, and we're going to get on the plane, and we're going to be able to make it there. And that's what happened. So that's just kind of the first story. Another story I want to tell you is about one that's happening right now. I'm working with a woman. Her name's Tiffany Fletcher. You may have caught some of her interviews as I've had her on this show before. But I'm creating a film for her. And when she approached me about it, it was such a big, unwieldy story that I was like, there's no way we can tell that story in just 3 minutes to be a speaker film to let people know what your story is, why they should care, why they should listen to you, and what amazing message you have to share. Anyway, so I just kind of set it aside a little bit because I couldn't get my arms around it. And then all of a sudden I got a download from the other side that let me know this is how you're going to do it. You're going to tell the story through dance. And then I emailed her and I said, we're going to need a choreographer. We're going to need some musicians. We're going to need a location. And when I sent that off, all of a sudden those things started to pop into place. A composer reached out to me that very week looking for work, and actually I had worked with him before, but I didn't know about it. Anyway, all of these amazing things started to happen, started to click into place to where I thought, you know what? God wants this to happen, and so I'm going to get on board and I'm going to help it happen, and I'm going to trust that it's all going to work out. Are there coincidences from God? I don't think so. And I don't know how this story is going to end because we haven't yet got the funding. We haven't yet gotten a bunch of the important things that need to go into this story in order for it to really happen. But it reminds me of one last story that I'll share with you. It's a movie called Hunt for Red October. If you've seen that, it's a wonderful film. There's this guy named Jonesy in it. He's an audio guy. He's their sonar guy, so he'd listen to the other ships around and the other things and would help with ship safety and navigation and really understanding sonar, what's going on under the water. Well, they were tracking this Russian sub who had this new technology that when they turned it on, it was this silent worm drive that made everything quiet so that you couldn't track it through normal sonar. But this Jonesy guy could hear it, and he thought he could maybe track it, so he recorded it. Well, he went to the ship's captain to show him what he had found, and he played it back for the ship's captain, and it just sounded like a bunch of whales or something, until he played it back at 10 times speed. And then it went bum, 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 bum. And they all looked at each other, and they said, that is definitely man-made. Well, if you will start to keep a list of all of these coincidences in your life, you're going to start to find out, you know what? That's really God-made. His hand is involved in my life. He wants me to go to Cambodia and Mongolia. He wants me to work with Tiffany, or whatever the coincidences are that are happening in your life that are telling you the things that God wants you to know. He's involved. He's there. So I just want to give two quick thoughts for you to do. The first thing is to journal nightly. If you create a habit for yourself, a routine for yourself of each night writing in your journal, I like to call it a hand of the Lord journal, how I have seen the hand of God in my life. I write that down, and it trains my mind to look for these coincidences that happen over and over and over again. And when they do, it reminds me that God's there, that He loves me, and He loves me enough to get involved in my life. You can feel that too. So that's first thing, keep a journal nightly. Then the other thing is to translate any of those coincidences into an abbreviated list. I like to keep them on my smartphone, and I can look at it while I'm waiting in line or different things. And it reminds me in kind of a compressed form, kind of like what we heard with Jonesy. Boom, 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 boom. You're able to see all of these things where God has been involved in your life. And you're able to see there are no coincidences. He's involved for a reason. So if you want to live an abundant life, if you want to feel connected to your higher power, start keeping a journal, start keeping a list, start keeping track of how often these coincidences show up in your life. What do you think? You've heard my thoughts. Now let's hear yours. In the comment section below, share what impressions came to your mind. What did you get out of this? If you have had thoughts to take action, please do so. Always listen to your inner voice. It's your ultimate guidance system. Of course, the best place to take action is at scottwilhite.com, because if you join me for a free web class, I will reward you by sending you my purpose planner so you can have a physical guide to help you get in touch with your inner guide. Your core story will serve you or shackle you. It's up to you. Choose your beliefs and pick your identity. It is choice, not chance, that determines your reality. See you next time.